We just got another shocking report surrounding the Boston Red Sox and how they were in talks with another ace pitcher this offseason. I'm here to break down who the other ace is, as well as really highlight how good of an offseason we really had in totality as this season quickly approaches on this episode of Red Sox Digest. I'm here to break it all down, but do first remember, if you are a part of the 86.5% currently watching this video, not currently subscribed to the channel, scroll down and subscribe. It only takes a few seconds, and we do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down not only this shocking report, but the new offseason updates, including this of Corbin Burnes. Now, as of late, the Foul Territory podcast has been doing a lot of different interviews with a lot of different young players, including Corbin Burnes, where they had him on just recently. And again, they were discussing how he ended up going to Arizona, what pushed him to land in Arizona with the Diamondbacks, and what other teams were out there in competition to acquire him this offseason. As we know, obviously Baltimore was involved, the Giants were linked to be involved, but then he mentions teams like the Red Sox, the Orioles, and then obviously the Giants, all being major pieces in competition to attempt to land Corbin Burnes this past offseason before Arizona really got the job done right after Christmas time. And again, I'm going to link the video down below in the description for the Foul Territory podcast, and you guys can listen to this 30-second clip because it gives you a lot of really insight and just information. It gives us a good idea that Arizona really went over the top to go out and acquire someone like Corbin Burnes, as it seems like both Boston and Baltimore were both in competition to land him with significant offers in the sense of contracts. But again, it seemed like Arizona took a step farther than both of those organizations and went out and were able to acquire someone like Corbin Burnes. Now, we know Corbin Burnes is a West Coast kid, and he played high school out there. Obviously, he grew up out in California. So getting closer to home, if you will, is probably a significant piece of this puzzle, as well as just joining a loaded team. Now, obviously, the Red Sox, if they were to go out and acquire someone like Corbin Burnes, we can't guarantee that players like Walker Buehler and others would have been then acquired, but I can tell you now, Garrett Crochet, Tanner Houck, and Corbin Burnes being your 1, 2, and 3 would have been terrifying for the rest of the league. As of now, I think we are very well put together. Brayan Bello, obviously Cutter Crawford, and Lucas Giolito, as well as Patrick Sandoval when he does return with the other starters that are already listed. Listen, this team as a whole is going to be very good. The starting rotation is going to have a good amount of depth, and I believe they're going to have a lot of quality arms. And just playing the game of fascination and just not real, but what if Corbin Burnes was in the starting rotation next to Garrett Crochet at the 1 and the 2, followed by Tanner Houck and Brayan Bello, as well as then Walker Buehler, or possibly even Richard Fitz, Cutter Crawford, or Patrick Sandoval, rounding it all out, it would have by far and away been the best starting rotation in all of baseball, up there with the Los Angeles Dodgers, without a doubt. Now, we have to make sure to give credit to someone in Corbin Burnes who has flat out been gross for the last handful of years and really the entirety of his career. Remember, he was back in Milwaukee before he went to Baltimore, where again he was good in both locations. It was crazy to see Milwaukee get rid of him and end up in somewhere like Baltimore, who we knew had the not young draft class, but young prospect class with a lot of upside. And then they ended up having Gunnar, Adley, and all these young pieces really develop well. And they went out and got a starting pitcher like Corbin Burnes. And again, they were feared amongst the league, and for good reason. Corbin came out there, went 15 and 9 in his first and only year in Baltimore. And again, he was elite. And if it wasn't for the two guys that were at the forefront of the Cy Young race in Chris Sale and Tarek Skubal, he would have been very much in that conversation with all the rest. Again, here are his numbers on Baseball Savant from last year. A lot of stuff above league average, exactly what you expect. He is an extremely, extremely good pitcher, and he's not someone that is throwing 100 every other pitch like we see with a lot of these new live arms where they dominate with a outstanding can't touch me fastball. That is not what you're getting from Corbin Burnes. He is going to be able to throw a cutter that is, again, mid-90s with a lot of horizontal movement, and again, a lot of good pitches to pair with it, including a slider, a change, a sinker, and again, that fastball and a curveball. He can really string things together, tunnel very, very well, and again, it produces very good pitching baseball. And again, He's going to win 10 plus games for what, the ninth straight year, it seems like. 1, 2, 3, 4 years in a row, he has won 10 plus games with his organization, whichever it is, either Milwaukee or Baltimore. Now walking into Arizona, who is absolutely loaded. They did lose Christian Walker this year to the Houston Astros, but no worries there, as they have simply just, it feels like they've reloaded in every way they needed. Corbin Carroll is obviously going to be in the running for probably in the top 10 of MVP race this year once again, as he has just been he was drafted, brought up, and he has not been nothing short of spectacular for the Arizona Diamondbacks. And really, I think they have a great collection of not only offensive skill players, but then if you look at the starting rotation with Zach Gallen now being able to be a 2, not being the ace for the Diamondbacks, because Corbin Burnes is really a rival there, as well as players like Merrill Kelly and others. The Arizona Diamondbacks are going to be a problem. I'm upset that the Boston Red Sox are not the team Corbin Burnes is now with. It would have been very sweet to see Burnes leave an AL East team in the Baltimore Orioles and then arrive to another AL East team in the Boston Red Sox. I think that would have been sweet, sweet stuff. But again, it did not happen. And again, it's because we didn't go out there and offer him 6 years, $210 million. Now, the Arizona Diamondbacks absolutely paid Corbin Burnes. There's no way around it, and a lot of this is deferred money. That is what this second screenshot is. This is all deferred money for Corbin Burnes, following the years 2031 all the way to 2036. So again, he's going to be getting paid by the Arizona Diamondbacks for a long time, possibly even following his retirement from the league. So he has the following 2 years getting paid by the Diamondbacks, and then he has a player opt-out if he decides to. We're seeing a lot more of these opt-outs in these contracts. Soto obviously getting opt-outs, as well as a bunch of other guys in these new contracts that we're seeing given out in the following few years. Again, a lot of opt-outs, a lot of availabilities for these players to then get out of these contracts very early and then test the market once again. So again, 2 years for Burnes and then a possible opt-out, and then we go right back to it a handful of years before coming an unrestricted free agent. Again, 6 years, $210 million, an average salary of $35 million per year. Absolutely great stuff for Corbin and his agent. They're both getting paid. Burnes is now very extreme, not that he wasn't before, but extremely comfortable financially, and hopefully he enjoys himself in Arizona, because I would have loved to see him in Boston. I think it would have been groundbreaking to a certain extent. I don't know if we would have went out and acquired someone like Walker Buehler after the acquisition of someone of like Garrett Crochet and Corbin Burnes. I feel like that would have been substantial. We would have had to pay Burnes to get him here, as well as the idea of extending Garrett Crochet is something that has to happen. It's something that you will see a video on in the following few days about how the Red Sox and how they haven't done it yet, and how it should be one of the first things accomplished here in the following month or so. I think it should have been done already. Garrett Crochet should be extended. What we've seen through spring has been dominant and something that you would want to see on your roster for a long, long time. And again, he's only 25 years of age. He's a southpaw, someone who can throw from the left-handed side and is filthy. There's no other, really any other way to explain it, and I really want to see him with the Red Sox for a long time. So again, when this starting rotation gets healthy, with Crochet, Houck, Buehler, Priester, and Fitz rounding out the 5, and then Bello, Crawford, and Giolito all coming off the injury list, where they will also be in that starting rotation if they can stay healthy. Obviously, focusing on Crawford and Giolito when I say that, as Bello has been pretty good when it comes to being injury prone. And then Patrick Sandoval, who we will get around the All-Star break, the halfway point of the season. There's going to be a lot of depth to this starting rotation. And just thinking, if Corbin Burnes was involved in that starting rotation, it would be absolutely terrifying. Again, he's been an elite player. I thought it was just really interesting to bring this to you guys. That, again, the Red Sox were, again, in conversations with another elite star this offseason. We didn't hear a lot of chatter about it, but again, there were rumors, there were speculation, but we didn't have any concrete information that suggested the Red Sox had a legitimate chance to go out and acquire someone like Corbin Burnes. And now hearing Corbin himself say this, again, Foul Territory podcast clips down below that we use the screenshots from in the description. So if you do want to see it, just click on the link. It'll take you to the Twitter account, and you can watch the 30-second tape in totality and hear Corbin's exact quotes from it. But again, it's just really cool to see that the Red Sox were actually involved. They were actually having conversations. Apparently, they had even offers on the board that just did not get the job done, which is no surprise. It's something that we've probably, if I had to guess, we've probably have done that 5 to 6 times with players this past offseason. If we were to get actual numbers and quotes from players as well as staff involved in the front office, I would it wouldn't be surprising to me to see that. But again, cool to see that we were in conversations with Corbin Burnes in attempt to get a lot better. And again, we have to give a little bit of credit to Craig Breslow. This team, as currently constructed, they went out and got Crochet. They went out and got Buehler. They went out and got Bregman with a chance to go out and get Corbin Burnes. It would have been really, really cool to see. But again, we don't win them all. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Red Sox Digest.